Hey everybody, welcome to the Rise or Die podcast with Stephen M. Lowisz. This is episode 34, Date Your Wife. So as I go through really the last year or so, but especially as I got more and more into entrepreneurship and, took the leap this past week, I'm now 100% self-employed, but the more I work, and I've worked a ton over the last couple of years, especially the last year, what I realize is that my wife doesn't need a whole lot of time. My wife doesn't need a whole lot of my time, but the time that she does get, she needs it to be quality. So when I first got married, the first year of marriage was a joke. I don't even know how we stuck together. If our marriage kept on that course, it wouldn't have lasted. And now there's no doubt it's 100% going to last. We're invested in each other, in our relationship, so on and so forth. But in our first year of marriage, I essentially thought it was my duty to go make a couple bucks, come back, sit down, watch some TV, maybe work a little more, and call it a day. And I thought that, Rachel, my wife, was supposed to basically do everything else, make sure that I'm good, grab me a beer if I want it, and that's about it. And that sounds a lot worse than what it felt like at the time. Of course, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have been like that. But that's unfortunately where I would say a lot, if not the majority, of guys are. And maybe it's not conscious. For me, it wasn't. It was subconscious. It was basically like I brought home the bacon, so now, I get to do whatever the fuck I want, right? And that's not how it works. So then, I would try to give Rachel all of this time of mine, which was, it was difficult to say the least, right? I've always been a hard worker. I've been working extra long hours the last, year plus, but I've always been a hard worker. And, I would try to give her all this time, but then I realized, well, is it really time if I'm sitting on my phone or if we're watching TV, not even talking to each other on opposite ends of the couch? Is that really quality time? Is going to see a movie anytime we actually did do something quality time? Don't get me wrong, I still go to the movies with my wife. It's one of my favorite things to do, but it's not really quality time. We have a bunch of guys here today that, it's Valentine's Day. They might get their wife some flowers and then they're going to go home and expect dinner like every other night. Or maybe their wife convinced them to take them out, out to eat, but that's going to be a less smaller portion. What I'm trying to get at here is, especially the last couple of days, is it's been an emotional roller coaster going through the last few days working for myself 100% of the time and managing my own schedule. And, I feel like I'm running 100 miles an hour. I'm only where I'm at because of my wife. So why the hell wouldn't I give her the quality time that she needs? It doesn't matter. I've talked to enough guys to know my wife is not unique in that way. No wife needs hours and hours and hours of your time. No husband needs hours and hours and hours of your time. No kid needs hours and hours and hours of your time. They just want quality time. They want you to be present while you're there. One of the best things I ever did for my marriage was start to go on a weekly date. That's literally it. My wife knows I work. I'm going to try to see her every single day for, even if it's just an hour, just to have dinner, talk, catch up, see how she's doing, and then it's work. But for us, it's Friday, I take my wife on a date. Some days it's, fancy. Some days it's absolutely, the epitome of a bummy date. It's not like we have a shitload of money to throw around. But at the end of the day, those couple hours on date night mean more to her than anything. They mean more to her than anything because I'm present, I'm there. So the myth is that you can't have business and family. The perception is that anyone who's made any money has neglected their family and treated them like shit. And unfortunately, that's the case for many. But they don't realize how little it takes to actually have a good marriage. I'm not saying that it's not mentally and emotionally hard. Marriage is brutal. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But on the other hand, it's simple. Marriage is simple. You invest in it. When's the last time you wrote your wife or husband or even your kid a little love note? Just to say, hey, I appreciate you. When's the last time you took your wife out on a date and it wasn't Valentine's Day? You can make a lot of money. You can work a lot of hours and have an awesome relationship with your wife, with God, with friends. You can do it all. You can have your cake and eat it too. It's a matter of being present where you're at and truly investing in the person sitting across from you. So what I want to leave you with today as I wrap up episode 34 is, where across body, being, balance, and business are you not all in? The myth about balance. When I say balance, that's like family, relationships, marriage, yada, yada, yada. When most people hear balance, it's, I only have so much to give, so I need to spread out my effort across all 4 areas of my life. No, that's not true at all. Having it all means that you're 100% in all areas, that you have more than enough to give in every area, because one area compounds on the other. You get drive and motivation from one area and it seeps into the next area, and then the next area. It is endless. You need to flip your mindset. Where across body, being, balance, and business are you not all in? Where are you lacking because you bought this retarded idea of, I only have so much energy to give? Like, you don't. You do as soon as you say that, but as soon as you say, like, my family is worth more, my legacy and financial kingdom is worth more than a little bit of sleep, or I need to be fit so that I can be around for my kids and then grandkids. Maybe you're lucky and even get great grandkids. You can have it all. What area are you lacking the most in? And what is just one step that you can take to start to rectify that today, not tomorrow? Yes, I know it's Valentine's. You're going to be busy. You're going to work. Then you're going to take your wife out. In fact, I challenge each and every one of you, take your wife out. If you're a dude that's listening to this, take your wife out. Plan a reservation. Wait times are going to suck today. But take your wife on a simple date. Now, as I wrap up episode 34, as always, 2 things. Subscribe to riseordiepodcast.com to get exclusive content. Number 2, share this podcast with someone that needs a little kick in the ass, someone that you want more for out of their life. I'll talk to you tomorrow for episode 35.